Hello there, welcome back to my channel, where today I'm going to be playing with the Lilac You a Lot palette from ColourPop. This look is going to be part of my Monochrome Monday series, and it's all lilac-y purple. So if you're interested in seeing how I did this look using this palette, then don't go anywhere. And if you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Rachel. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom who loves to play with colorful eyeshadow. I don't know much about other kinds of makeup, I just love eyeshadow. So if you're interested in colorful content, tutorials, rankings, declutters, palette collections, YouTuber tags, anything like that within the realm of eyeshadow, then you're in the right spot. I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing. I try to upload about 3 videos a week, and you can find me on Instagram at Shimmers and Silver. Now, without talking any more, let's get into this eye look. As I always do, I'm going to start by priming my eyes. Today, since I'm using a ColourPop shadow, I'm going to be using NYX White Primer. I don't really like this primer that much. I find that if I'm using a shadow which creases a lot, this primer, the NYX primer, does not really keep them from creasing. And so I have discovered the Glamlight Icing Primer, and that one works really well for me when it comes to preventing my shadows from creasing. After, 12, 14, 16 hours, I still have pretty uncreased eyeshadow if I use the Glamlight Primer. So because most of my formulas at this time do tend to crease on me a little bit, such as Beauty Bay, Glamlight, Uden's Eye, the brands that have a less powdery shimmer formula, I tend to use the Glamlight Icing Primer more often, but when I use ColourPop shadows, I don't have as much creasing issues with those, so I use whatever's left in my NYX pot. I put too much on, so I have to work it in. Okay, I do have a little bit too much primer on, but it'll get covered with shadow, and that's okay. I'm going to take a medium, nice, fluffy blending brush. I want to dip into the shade Imagine That. In the pan, first off, there's a lot of kick up, but in the pan, this shadow definitely looks more brown toned, but then when you lay it on the eye, it's a lovely purple color, and it always surprises me. So I'll put that in my crease, and like the whole crease, so start in the outer corner and then work it towards the bridge of the nose. I just dipped in lightly. I don't want to go in really heavy with this shadow. Now I'm going to take a detail crease brush from e.l.f. and I'm going to dip into the shade Zoned Out, which is just a really nice, true lilac sort of matte. And I want to place this in the crease alone. So I'm just putting it in the crease. I'm not blending it down to the lid or up towards the brow. I think lilac is such a pretty color. It seems to look good with a lot of different skin tones. It seems to look good with a lot of different hair colors. Imagine somebody with brown hair with lilac, or blonde hair wearing lilac, but then also imagine somebody with silver hair wearing lilac. I think lilac is one of those colors that's just flattering on a lot of different people. It might not look great on somebody with very yellow undertones, but I'm speculating, I'm not sure. I just think it's a very pretty color. It's soft, it's romantic, it's very pleasing to the eye. Pun. And if you do like lilac eyeshadow, then this palette is such a great one. It's really good quality, it performs beautifully, there's variety and diversity within it. It's not like you don't have any duplicate or repeat shadows. It's just a really, really nice lilac palette. Okay, so here's where I want to try something a little bit new. I have a pretty standard style when it comes to applying eyeshadow. I almost always deepen up the outer corner with just progressively deeper colors and shades. Sometimes I'll do a halo eye, but that's about as adventurous as I get. And today I wanted to try something different, possibly because it's a monochromatic look, and I find those, first off, I've done a monochromatic pastel, lilac color in the past, and if I do it again, whether or not I've done it for YouTube, it's gonna look the same as I did before. And I do like to try to challenge myself and push myself into new things. So I'm gonna take a small blending brush. There are 2 deep mattes in this palette, so I'm gonna use both of them. I'm gonna first take the color Iffy, which is a bright royal purple. And that's on this brush, and I'm gonna start this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna outline the inner part of the crease with this color. So I'll start in the inner corner, and I'll just go, I don't know, halfway or 2/3 of the way, outlining the shape of the crease. And I don't know how it's gonna look, but that's what I'm gonna try to do. This is a really pretty purple shadow. Purples can be hard to formulate, particularly deep purples. So if you find a really good purple shadow, it's a nice thing to have. So now I'm going to take an even smaller blending brush or pencil brush, and I'm dipping into the same shade Iffy, and I just want to, with a bigger brush it tends to diffuse more, so I want to get a little bit more specific placement of that color, like in the center of the line. So I'm dipping it into Iffy and then kind of going over what I just laid down. This is just going to concentrate it in a smaller, more tighter space. Okay, now I'm taking the first blending brush that I used. I'm not putting any additional product on. I'm just gonna go over where that line ends to help soften and, you know, fade it out into the rest of the colors. And now using an angled pencil brush, I'm gonna dip into the other dark matte in this palette called Filtered. And this one I'm going to place acting as a wing at my outer corner. So I'm gonna put it right here, blend it up and away. And then I'll trace it as well down towards my lash line. I'm kind of treating this one like an eyeliner. So I'm gonna like go along most of my lash line, probably not all the way to the inner corner because I already have the other color there, but probably start about halfway along my lash line and just wing it out. Okay, now it's time for shimmer. I swatched these shimmers and I discovered that the shade Wake Up, which honestly I haven't used that much, is actually a little bit more of a topper shade. It's not quite the pigmentation that I want. So I'm gonna go into this shade Fluff. And my goal is to get it between these two dark mattes that I have on the inner and the outer corners. But I'm not going to be able to apply it with very much precision, like when I get closer to the inner eye. So I'm gonna put it here in the center of my lid, like blend it up and out, but I'll have to use a brush to get to the inner part. Although now I'm looking at it, I wonder if I want to use a different shimmer for the inner part. Oh, why not? Let's try it. Let's take a medium or small flat C brush or shader brush, dip into the shade Trainwreck, and I'm gonna spray this, I think. So with this more precise brush, I'm going to start at the inner corner between those two mattes and sort of trace this upper matte and then blend this shimmer into the rest of the shimmer. And just because I like it, I will carry this shimmer down through my inner corner as a highlight shadow and then down into the lower lash line inner corner as well. And now to finish out with a waterline color, I don't have any purple eyeliner. I have a couple different pinks, so I'm gonna take this, which is called Plum Smash. It's from ColourPop. It's sort of a deep burgundy, so it's got purple tones to it, somewhere in the middle. And I'll use this on my whole lower waterline. So that's it for eyeshadows. I'm probably gonna go take a Q-tip and dip it into some coconut oil and then just clean up this line right here. And then I'll finish up the rest of my face, put on some black eyeliner, most likely, mascara, etc. And then be back to show you the end result. Okay, and here's the finished look. I did put on some black eyeliner. I traced the upper lash line and then I did a small wing, but I didn't want a line of black to extend next to that line of purple. My baby's awake. So I just did a little bit of a baby wing. I put on some mascara, a little bit of face product, some concealer under my eyes to just clean up any fallout and brighten up that area. And this is the final look. I think it's really pretty. I love purple eyeshadow. I think if I had to choose between light purple and dark purple eyeshadow, for myself, I might choose light purple because I just love the way it livens up the face, you know? And I think that purple's great. It's almost a universally flattering color on so many different skin tones and hair colors. It's just beautiful. So if you're in the market for a light purple or lilac or lavender eyeshadow palette, the ColourPop Lilac You is a great solution. I mean, I think it was $9 when I bought it, but they've raised their prices a bit. Now I think that their 9 pans are $14. Still not a bad price, and ColourPop always has sales throughout the year, so you can often grab things for less than full price. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more of my content, and check me out on Instagram at Shimmers and Silver. And until we see each other again, have a wonderful day. Bye! Today, since I'm using ColourPop, I'm going to use the shade White from... And now using an angled pencil brush, I'm going to dip into... This is all messed up. That's not an angled pencil brush. Let me try that again.